2:59 minutes. My name is Levi Kones. This particular Monday, we have a lot to talk about in terms of the political happenings of the week. And to join me in doing that is all the way from London, the United Kingdom, Dr. David Matsanga. Glad to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Kenya. Good morning, Africa. Wherever you are on the continent of Africa, thank you very much for bringing me in on CAST TV for me to make these remarks about the event in Africa this morning.
Yes. So, Daktari, let's start from the issues to do with the COVID outbreak, because that is, where we were at in terms of 1 year ago. We had the first person who was diagnosed with COVID in Kenya, and then so far we have had quite a number of people diagnosed. Deaths have gone up to 1,700. And we just came out from a place where we had put in some measures, and the president was supposed to make an announcement last Friday, which he came out and did. And some of the measures he made, he said, there's a variant that is now sweeping again over the country. Our rates are going up to 14% in terms of infection rates. And it looks like the virus is again on the rise. So to curb that, the government came up with the measures, which is, 100 people in funerals and places of worship. Also, we have been told to keep, the curfew going 10 o'clock at night. Bars, restaurants to close by 9 p.m. Social distancing to be maintained, washing of hands. And was this a good measure going forward? Even though some people say that in Africa, it's not been a very big deal.
No, I think it's a big deal in Africa. Let no African say it is not a big deal. This thing, the disease is real. The disease is real. Mm-hmm. COVID-19 is real.
Yes.
COVID-19 is a monster. COVID-19 exists. You can catch it anywhere, on a plane, in a car, at a friend's house. So don't say, some people, don't doubt what the government is telling you. Follow the measures. The Ministry of Health SOPs, follow them. I welcome the President Uhuru Kenyatta's decision to extend the curfew. You don't eat, you need life in order to do an economy. You need life. Don't tell me you are crying over the economy. You cry for the economy, but you might not be there to eat the economy. Any sincere government, like the government of Republic of Kenya, must serve the people first. Then they think about the economy. The economy will come later. Industries will come later. Poverty can be talked about when you are alive.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the poverty? Can you talk about the poverty when you are not alive?
Yeah, Daktari, you know, one of the measures the president made was he said that political gatherings are, banned. Although we saw that over the weekend there were some people who actually had some gatherings. But the critics of the presidential directive and of the president would say that, that we have used the COVID situation to deal with each other politically. And also, there are those who critically say that, COVID is not the biggest thing that we have had. We have other diseases that are ravaging Africa.
Those who have not been affected, both.
What do you say to such people?
Kenya has done very well. If you look at the graph, the trends, the arrangement, the engagement, the sensitization process of Kenya, you have done very well. Any schooler, anybody who has gone to school, unless you went to a wrong school, which does not teach you that there is a very good way of Kenya doing things, you have done so well on this COVID-19. You have maintained the rate of death is low compared to United States and other countries like Britain where we are. It is very low because you got the signal early. You managed to tell your people that do this disease is real. The people, few critics who actually thought Corona was not there. And you see, God is not always with bad people. God is always everywhere. When you say it is not there, He uses it to show you that it is there. So those who went out to campaign and made campaigns despite the fact that they were Ministry of Health SOPs. And the people who are now coming around say, oh, it is being used. This is something that touches a human life. You might not talk to this political rally of 2022. You sing around and sing. Everybody in Kenya, you meet in a bus, in a car, in a taxi, in a plane. Oh, 2022. 2022, do you know whether you will be there? Do you know whether you will be there? Does Ruto know whether he will be in 2022? Do I know? I don't. We don't know. We all don't know. So first of all, save the people. That's what the president was telling you. Then you move. Politics can come. In fact, it doesn't even matter. Kenya can postpone even elections.
Yeah, but Daktari, be that as it may, there are those who
Yes.
say there is a hypocrisy that is being perpetuated by politicians. That's not right in terms of they say that and then they get out and they go to the masses themselves. And they speak
And
to
that's
them.
why the president, did you hear the president? I was listening to the president on Friday.
Yeah.
The message was very clear that starting from him, and we want to see that he doesn't also go out on the political rally. Yes. And that you don't go, you don't need to. You don't need to. And the president has told you, don't do it.
Maybe you can
And
tell
I'm
us,
glad
because you're out there, Daktari, how serious are things out there?
It's very bad. The second wave or the third wave is very dangerous. Italy is closing down, and it is coming because of people. You know, Italy, the Roman Empire built Rome in a crowded place. Houses share balconies almost. So we have a problem there. That's one of the things. But it is beginning. The third wave has begun creating a lot of havoc in Europe. As we speak in London here today, I'm telling you frankly, the entire situation is under lock. You can't enter a pub, a restaurant to eat food if you have no barcode. If you don't have a barcode, there's someone, a nice girl saying, hello, how are you? Should do your phone like this? If the barcode is not here, you don't go to that restaurant. They are not interested in the money anymore. They are interested in their health, in health first. Secure body first. You can't drink a pint. You can't drink juice in any restaurant. You can't enter any train without the barcode.
So what you're saying is, even though a lot of Kenyans don't take it so seriously now, because even Friday.
Don't say a lot of Kenyans have taken it.
No, but we see curfew there's flouting of. If you walk out at 10 o'clock at night, you'll be very surprised.
Even now,
People are out there.
I want to stand on the side of Kenyans this time.
Yes.
And those ones that they have tried, they have behaved. You don't see any more police arrests.
Yeah, but we need to go back to the first way we were. The serious time, the first time.
People thought it was a joke.
When,
But when it came down to people, let me tell you, my friend, my dear brother, this thing is very serious. That's all I can tell you. It's not a joke. Avoid it. Wash your hands. Stay a distance. Wear a mask. Follow the protocols, SOPs of the Ministry of Health. Don't underrate Mutahi Kagwe. Don't underrate the government. However poor you are on the farm, in the farm, on the village, on the river, in the air, on the sea, follow those SOPs. Kenya will come out of it.
We'll pull out.
Vaccine is here.
All right, let me switch gears a bit and take us to the neighboring country of Tanzania, which has been trending the entire weekend on our social media sites.
You are aware now, yes.
Yes, and everyone is wondering where the president of Tanzania is and whether the issues.
He appeared yesterday. Did you not see him yesterday?
Did he?
Yes, you haven't seen.
No, I haven't seen. I haven't seen. Nah.
Yeah, you was.
Yeah, but what are people?
Didn't you see? I have seen on I have cross-checked. He appeared yesterday and swearing in ceremony.
What does that say about us Africans and our ability to maybe, I don't know whether it is worry or spread rumors when we have our leaders who are unwell? Because also the problem is this, I don't know if he was unwell. We have not heard from the Tanzanian government if he was unwell. But we had...
I am a friend.
But Raila Odinga got unwell, got COVID, and said it. Why is it that African leaders don't want to say, just in case they got unwell, why wouldn't they want to just say, hey, by the way, you know, I'm also unwell, but I'm getting better? Why is that a problem in Africa?
It depends on society. Tanzanian society is conservative. That's why they have been very conservative and they have kept the unity of purpose in Africa, in East Africa. There is no other country in East Africa that is united than Tanzania. So they are conservative. They are conservative.
Yeah, but sickness is sickness, Daktari.
Yes, they are conservative.
And it can happen to anyone.
You remember when Nyerere was sick, it was very rare for you to know where he was. I was one of the few people who went to bury Nyerere in Katama village, in Mwanza. I went there. I struggled so hard in a muddy road up to, you can't believe it. So it is very serious. But it depends on which country and how best each country handles such a case. For Kenya, people are open society. They are open, they can talk about, the leadership can talk about it because you follow the model of democracy. Tanzanians are conservative people. They were brought out on Ujamaa villages. They know what it hurts, what it means to be in a Ujamaa village. They know the suffering. They know that a united Tanzania is not the best Tanzania is the best Tanzania you can have. It's not like us in Uganda and other countries, Uganda, Kenya, where we are open. The Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, told you last week that he tested positive. There is nothing wrong with testing positive.
Yeah.
When you test positive, it's a disease.
Yes.
And let's not stigmatize people because they have tested positive. You can be cured. When you talk of going to hospital, and you tell people, the former Prime Minister is a public figure, and he's told people, today is at his home. You have seen the video that is running around. He's running at his home, back doing exercise. You need that. But in Tanzania, there is always that conservative, that I want to answer your question. There is that conservative nature of life. They have been conservative people. They don't want watu wengi wajue maneno yao. That is what a Tanzanian is. That is how some of us who grew up a bit of our lives in Tanzania know those days of Mwalimu Nyerere.
Yeah.
When you were fighting.
But
we know.
Do you think that this should, in terms of stigma, for leaders of Africa, do you think generally leaders of Africa should step up to the plate and be more forthright with issues to do with personal diseases, just in combating, rumors, dispelling, words from wananchi that may cause, fear, anxiety?
It should, in natural senses, in a natural way. When you are sick and you are father of the house, your family must know. But we have this problem of next of kin, because it must stop that rumor mongering.
Yes.
If you go on telling everybody how sick you are, some of them even laugh. You saw the pictures that people were saying when Raila Odinga said he had COVID-19. You have seen how people have demonized the Tanzanian president in the Western Hemisphere and the newspapers. You have seen everywhere on social media, the opposition Mr. Lusu from Canada, where he is trying to fight back on he's trying to fight back on what could be. He's fighting back through the COVID-19. He could not fight through elections. He is now fighting back through COVID-19. So those are also a problem that we see today.
Yes. Now, Daktari, one of the other interesting things that happened this past weekend was the refusal by Kenya to join the International Criminal the court. Tell us about that, because you were passionate about this issue of the ICJ, and tell us what exactly happened on that stage.
First of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank the government of Kenya. If they have taken that decision, it was long overdue. The ICJ, and let me teach some people in Kenya, ICJ is not a criminal court. You go there by willing seller, willing buyer. You go there when you have agreed that let's go and finish. When you have exhausted all methods of arbitration. Somalia did not allow Kenya to exhaust these methods, constitutive methods by AU in this country on this matter. Two, I was one of the only man in sub-Saharan Africa who stood firm and protested about just presiding judge Abdallah Yusuf Ahmed, a Somali national, a relative of Farimajo. The father of this Abdallah Yusuf is also an elder of the clan of Farimajo, who advises Farimajo to preside over this Kenyan case. The case was handled badly at the beginning, and we must accept that and move on. It was handled very badly at the beginning by people who were supposed to file them. They should have not gone there in the first place. The court refused all applications that Kenya put forward, including the application by Attorney General Gifi Mugai, the former Attorney General. So if a court has refused your application to say, give us time in these conditions, why do you walk there? I struggled so hard and pumped a lot of material to the court about corruption, about biasness, how the influence of the Qatar and the Turkey and the Norway will bring injustice to this court. And today I stand firm. I don't care a damn. I stand firm, and I will go, I will pursue. I've written 2 letters to the United Nations Secretary General. My friend Guterres, he knows me before he knew some people. I want to tell you frankly, he knows me. He knows when I touch something, it must be something of peace. It must be something that is really paining. I've told him, if you allow this case to go on in this court, you will bring a biggest war, a mother of all wars in the Indian Ocean.
What does it mean for us going forward? What exactly does...
You don't go. You don't go. Let Somalia come back to arbitration center, mediation process, African Union Constitutive Assembly. If they want, let them make a ruling on their own. You don't go. You don't go. Keep on going to places where you are going to. Your hands have been tied and you are swimming in the water. Allah, Allah, Allah. Why should Kenya be swimming in water? They allowed themselves to go to ICC. Some of us struggle to bring them out. Why do you go to this court when there are other channels to stop this type of action? One of the channels, Mr. Kones, is to go to the Secretary General and tell the Secretary General point blank, if he wants, and let him know. I have already written 2 letters, they are there. I can show you the codes You know, these days you send by court. I can show you 2 letters. They are in his box. They were received by the Anthony, by the PS. That if you allow this matter to continue, Mr. Secretary General, you will spark a matter of big wars. If the ruling, if the discussion, if the submission on any of this matter, if this matter is not deferred.
Yeah, and this is something you campaigned for personally quite a long time back.
Yes.
It was,
I said you must defer. Deferral is the only way out. Suspend. Deferral does not mean the matter is forgotten. Defer the matter under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Security Council.
and,
Article 39 and 40.
Allow
Kenya and Somalia to start behind talks, silent negotiation, to leave, to abandon the whole matter. Because if they don't do it,
so what would happen if Kenya and Somalia do not agree on the negotiation process going forward?
Haven't we lived without those islands? Let me ask you also a reverse question. Haven't we lived without those islands?
Yeah.
Honestly, haven't we lived for 1 million years without knowing that there was oil? Is Somalia and Kenya not united? Are they not 2 people? Are they not brother and sister?
They are neighbors, yes.
We are brothers. Haven't we lived? Why should we go and wash our dirty linen in front of imperial people who sat down in 1884 and marked us boundaries? And marked us, if you were asked where to belong, wouldn't you be belonging in Uganda? You and the mom and other people.
Most probably.
If I was asked, in Tarubo, in Italy, you would be belonging to Uganda. If I wanted to be asked by God, where do you want to be born? I would have asked, give me paths across in Bongoma. Because those are my places. So why do we have lived together as people? Why do we come to pettiness of now? Because a Western country has said it has invested a lot in oil. The problem of the countries, and I want to name them to here, shame them. If the Foreign Affairs Ministry does not shame them in Kenya, I am naming them because I'm an activist. I'm not employed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the government of Kenya. I'm an activist. And I'm going to name the countries that are causing bad blood between Kenya and Somalia. 1, Norway. 2, Turkey. 3, Qatar. 4, France. 5, United States. And I have evidence.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I have evidence. And I have evidence of Qatar paying for all the bills. I've collected all the bills. Who pays? I know the transaction in the hotels. Remember, I've been in this place there in the
we will watch and see how that plays out on the big arena, Daktari, and see how that goes. But let me bring us back to
this morning. Let them start on their own. Let Somalia accuse itself and get a judgment on its own. How can you go to be accused by a country which has not built a toilet? What? Let me say it today here. You are helping them to build a toilet. Then they accuse you. Let's get the Kenya that we know that leads East Africa.
Yeah, but Daktari, in terms of
no, Kenya has. Let me finish my point. Kenya has sacrificed. It has sent men across. Their men are dying. They are being killed by the Al-Shabaab, which is in the government.
Yeah.
But in terms of Al-Shabaab, the government.
Daktari, in terms of arbitration,
Al-Shabaab operators in the government. Yes.
Yeah, in terms of arbitration and peaceful processes of solving matters, for example, you look at the East African countries, and one wonders why, what would happen, what's the EAC, for example, is there for, even in terms of such things, because we have this problem with Somalia about the islands. We had a problem with Uganda over Migingo, which is still unsolved. We had a problem with Ethiopia about the borderline there, and you know, and what's happening with the bandits crossing over and doing all manner of atrocities on this other side. And one wonders, from just the for the layman, maybe explain to us, those of us who are laymen say, oh, but we have an East African community. Shouldn't it be doing such things and solving such problems? Dr.
We have maize stuck across the border.
Yes. One time there was even a dispute with Tanzania over our chicken.
Yes.
You know? That,
so, will Africa ever integrate?
Yeah, but what does it say? But on one hand, we've got East African community.
I am trying to answer your question.
Yes, on the other hand, we have these things. And you know, the layman asks themselves, there's a lot of money spent. There are guys who are in those EAC communities. They go to Arusha, they go where, they go where. And we say, okay.
Okay.
There's even ministries for that, you know.
The Ministry of East African Community of Kenya, regional what?
And regional development.
Do you even know the name of the minister? He doesn't even, I don't think you know him. He does. I don't know why President Uhuru Kenyatta has kept him in the cabinet, but it is supposed to put this relationship together. Such things will not be coming up between Uganda and Kenya.
Yes.
No. You would be solving this thing. Yes, you would be solving this maize. The maize from Uganda, which was stopped, has got a medicine called aflatoxin.
Yes.
Yes.
Aflatoxin. Yes.
Kenya's maize is not standard. Kenya's farmers still have their maize that does not have that chemical. So why do you bring more? Uganda equally says their maize is clean.
Yeah.
So these are things that you sit down and negotiate with Uganda and talk with Kenya. Both ministers should sit down and get this thing out. Let the trade flow. On the question of regional bodies like EAC, what can they do? They can't do anything. They don't have even the resources. Some of the people in EAC are violators of the same regulations. So the only partners that have remained very consistent is Uganda, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya.
But
Rwanda.
we thought that these issues, that these people would, because they are EAC people, that they should be able to have a conversation at the very least. Hata kuongea tu.
Let me tell you, the conversation would have come. But the conversation cannot come when there is no initiator of the conversation. Who is initiating the conversation? The minister, you don't even know the name of the Minister of Regional Affairs. Do you know him? Have you ever seen him address us as East Africans? Have you seen him calling us to integrate?
And we even have...
He just gets...
And Daktari, we have an East African legislative body. We have MPs who go to Yala, who sit in a bunge. You know, the layman asks himself. Mwananchi asks himself a lot of questions like, what is this?
Yes, the East African... No. East African MPs go there to collect salary and allowances. What new thing have they brought to you? You tell me any of these people. What have they brought to tell you about integration of East Africa? They don't want integration. The good thing is that we have a good president in the Republic of Kenya, a man who is patient, a man who can allow even people to insult him.
Yeah, and he's now the East Africa chair.
Yes, that's why you see.
He's currently the chair.
The whole thing must move up. Stop these quarrels. The quarrels. If Somalia wants to go alone in the ICJ, let them be heard alone. Hello? Kenya is on the Security Council, United Nations Security Council. Why do you want to bother yourself with judges who are paid salary by the UN Security Council? What? What policy is that? What? Tell me which policy is that?
So, Dr. It leads us to only one question.
What is it? Yeah?
It only leads us
Yes.
to one question, Dr. What does this portend
Yes.
for us as Africans? If Africans cannot solve our problems, if we cannot talk amongst
We
ourselves,
shall,
if we cannot...
as Africans,
and we say, okay, fine, we don't want to
think
go to an
Somalia-
international court, fine, we don't want to go. But we are not solving the problems ourselves either. So what are we
let me
saying?
tell you, my brother, and listen to me carefully.
Yes.
External darker forces have penetrated us. The center cannot hold anymore. Qatar pays for even for the food of President Farmajo. Qatar mans the intelligence system of Somalia. These countries have bases in Kenya. Turkey is arming Somalia to the highest teeth so that in case there's a dispute, Somalia can come and jet fight us, send jet fighters to bomb Nairobi. You know, it is now knowledge. I told people 1 year ago that 1,000 Turkish Somalis are being trained in different bases. Now here we are. It confirms what I told you. People who underrate me on international intelligence, they underrate me on their own peril. They let me sound that to people. On their own peril, because as a senior member of Chatham House and a senior member of Institute of International Strategic Studies, a life member, I pay my membership. Please, I understand these things. I studied this subject. Therefore, when I'm telling you some of these things, they are factual. These countries have penetrated Somalia. They have changed the heart of a president who used to work with Kenya, turned him against Uhuru Kenyatta. They have told him, don't accept this.
So things are...
This oil thing Somalia has had about 4 presidents.
Yeah.
This oil thing had never cropped up. In 2009, an agreement was signed. There was no need of going up there. You would be even harnessing the oil better, and it would be helping us today in all countries. But look at this scenario. Given that things are the way they are, until you change the regime in Mogadishu, until you get this Farmajo, who is a Republican, who thinks like a Mr. Donald Trump, until you remove him out of Mogadishu, you have no peace in this region. The advisors of Farmajo are the real dictators that exist on the African continent. I don't want to even mention one. You would run away very fast from that.
Okay, I hear you. Let me come back here because we have a few minutes. Let me switch back gears to national politics here and talk about matters to do with BBI going forward. Because as it is, because of the presidential directive, there will be no more political rallies. We expect not to see them. We don't expect to see big rallies where even BBI is being touted. So what will this mean in terms of the calendar for BBI? Do you feel like there'll be a setback and maybe a delay in the timing of matters going forward? Or what do you foresee there?
Kenyans have a right even to tell the government we don't want elections. Will you refuse? If Kenyans woke up and say, do we need elections in 2022? Yes or no? Some Kenyans will say, with COVID, we don't want them. I think that would be the best question. And I'm sure you are one of those who would even vote, don't bring them. Am I wrong? I can see from your eyes.
I have no opinion.
No, Kenyans don't need elections like in 2022. It is already mad. You can see where elections are being held under COVID-19. Look at the banning Senegal. Have you seen the Senegal banning?
Yeah.
Senegal was one of the most moderate, very safe places in West Africa. Today is banning because of elections held under COVID-19. Does Kenya need to go that route? It is very important for Kenya to start thinking of whether they need those elections or they can postpone those elections for a further time and hold them when they are vaccinated everywhere. You get my point?
I get your point.
When you are,
but we are talking, when we talk about
vaccinated,
elections, we are talking about referendum elections, right? Not general elections.
Whatever. When you have vaccinated people, then you can think of elections. There are over 42 million, is it 45 million Kenyans?
Yeah,
they need vaccination.
Yes, we are 45 million.
They need vaccination. So what time will you vaccinate them? Then at the same time, go and look for it.
In fact, I saw, it's interesting you say that, because just this morning I read something about how we have only vaccinated 9,300 people.
Look at that. How long will it take to vaccinate 45 million people? Then you are telling me you want to become a president in 2022, or I'm a president, or I'm campaigning for president, running around with the shirts and the trousers, around spreading the gossip, the whole thing. Wapi? No good country in Africa now can declare elections. Look at Senegal. You're a journalist in that studio in Nairobi. Look at Senegal. Senegal is banning. It's real banning. It's not a joke. Because of an election that was conducted badly under COVID-19. Look across in Uganda. People are living on tension. A case is taken to court. It is withdrawn. The younger man has now said protest. It's regrettable if we don't learn from these small mistakes. And we make mistakes by again holding that we want elections. We are talking about election. Kenya should think of, the parliament should think of even extending this thing. Then they can do elections later, declare an emergency. Yes, a state of emergency can be declared. We vaccinate people first. Yes, what is wrong with that? Thank you very much.
It's very interesting. You should say that, and I think if that were to gather momentum, that idea, then there are those who would say that we are still using this COVID-19 politically to stop others from doing elections.
No, it is not used politically.
You know,
COVID-19 found us in politics, didn't it?
It did.
So when you say it is used politically, who's using it?
It found us in politics, but there are those who say that
COVID-19 found us politically, found Kenya in politics. It is not Kenya which found COVID-19 in politics.
Yes. So we wait and see what happens in the next few weeks with regarding the
whatever way it goes.
Yes.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has done his best. He's banned all political activities. Let this month concentrate 30 days in frontline workers to be vaccinated. You journalists are also frontline workers. You have your category. I believe you have been told.
Yes.
Most of the journalists are frontline workers. They will be part and parcel of the same way of living. You know, you will also be vaccinated later, but at the moment they are on health, frontline workers, soldiers, police, those who run ambulance people, those who run to rescue you. And that is what is happening. So I am very impressed with the record of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Where I'm sitting from my political command center in London, I'm impressed. He has done very well. He's done it very well. He continues to do very well, despite the challenges that he gets from his rapid, challenges that he gets from within his own government, where you have the deputy doing the opposite of what he's doing. He has done very well for Africa. he has the vision for Africa, and that is why this not going to the ICJ is a victory for me, because I started saying there was no need, and I've read the constitution of the ICJ. Article 40 is very clear. It is very clear. First, talk to me, agree with me whether we should go forward or not. But this matter was not discussed. Somalia just woke up from the pockets of Qatar and Norway because they had seen the green dollar, which the ministers of foreign affairs and the former prime minister called Hassan Hadi,
yes,
is the one who caused us all these problems. He's now against the Farmajo. He caused us all these problems. As they pursue, I am also pursuing a parallel different route on how the Soma oil was sold in London by Prime Minister Hassan Hadi. My case is lying somewhere. They have finalized some investigation. Soon the truth will come out. Thank you.
Thank you, David, Dr. David Matsanga, Pan-African Forum Chairman. Always a pleasure, very informative. By the way, before we go, there are talks of political realignments. Do you think that, you know, some of the people we think will not work together will end up working together and vice versa? What do you see? Just in a nutshell before we close.
I did not hear that question again.
I said there are talks in Kenya of political realignments, like people who we did not expect to work together. Like those some are saying Raila and Ruto will work together. Some are saying that there is a cabal that is.
How can you put oil to work with water?
You don't think so?
No, how? First of all, the constitution does not allow the deputy president to vie for a deputy. You think Raila will accept to be the deputy of Ruto? Don't you see that you are talking about, even if you are not Jesus Christ who came to save us? Can't you asking me such a question is like asking Satan asking Jesus to change the stones into food? And Jesus said to try.
That's an interesting analogy. I think we will end on that.
Look at this. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
It is impossible. Ruto has ego. Ruto wants the power himself. Ruto cannot surrender to be the deputy. The law will not accept. I know what they are trying to do is that when they pass the constitution, the president can be selected. We know the trick that they have been talking about. And that then Raila can come and say, now we stand together and you can be my deputy. But Raila cannot go that route. First of all, the blood between Raila and the Ruto supporters.
So I guess what I'm asking is, the handshake is intact, yes?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Can I repeat that word again? Oh, yes.
Like
the
President Kibaki, oh, yes.
Yes, the handshake is intact. And let nobody tell a lie. The handshake is intact. It is the only thing that I received as a reward of redemption strategy. I am a proponent of redemption strategy. Haven't I talked about redemption strategy with you 4,000 times on your shows?
Yeah.
But you counted them. Didn't I tell you about redemption 6 years ago? In Lavington, then when you asked me what is the redemption strategy, look at those clips.
So it is
has worked.
Yeah, I hear you.
No. Do you want to stay in your terrible house? You want my sister to be sacked or to be killed?
Not at all. I think we've got your answer. It's intact. We'll keep watching that space and see what happens.
Yes. Those who want to break it are the ones who did not join it. Orengo and Ruto. Orengo in ADM and Ruto in Jubilee. You want me to tell the truth? You always bring me. Don't try me on things which you
Let me leave some for next week. Let's see what happens in this week.
Don't try me.
Yeah.
Orengo and Ruto are the ones trying to destabilize the handshake. because they were not invited at that last minute. Then you Kenyans go on beating about the bush. Orengo is half NGO, half ODM. Ruto is half Jubilee, half NGO. George Soros money
it's an interesting analogy. Wait, let's wrap it up on that note, Daktari.
Yes. But Uhuru Kenyatta is one man who has brought peace for this country and this region. He's a very good president. He would have not tolerated some of this rubbish.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you, Daktari. Always a pleasure.
And I wish quick recovery. I wish the former Prime Minister, my comrade at arms, a fighter, a freedom fighter, a rebel officer like some of us have been for years. We have met in the trenches. Rise up and fight up to the final point, Baba. Thank you. Rise up.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Daktari. Have a blessed week ahead. And thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for Ilosu coming up next. That's been 59 minutes. Have a wonderful day.